Wait a minute. He was going to propose to 42 women?
And were any of those 42 women underage actresses?
Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Yes, that's not Nick next to me. I'll explain in a second. Excuse me, I promise. Follow the show on social media at Beyond the Bench 1 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow the network at ETB Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'll have a lot of stories to tell in a few minutes. This has been quite a few couple of weeks. But Kevin O'Leary's here with me. He is a co-host of... Oh, I shouldn't say co-host. He's a host on my network here for Fruity Cereal. Kevin, hi.
I am technically the co-host.
So. Well, of this show today. But yes.
Well, yeah, but I'm also the co-host of Fruity Cereal, though.
Well, right,
but I co-host that with Connor.
Right, but I meant to say you're a co-host on your own show. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, that is true.
So, yeah, Kevin and I actually go back a little bit of a ways. We went to school together at LIU, and
yep,
let's just
LIU. They're the Sharks now. They were not when we went, though. They were the Pioneers, which was some weird Davy Crockett looking dude.
Let's just say the radio station has changed tenfold, and all the stuff we did has changed tenfold since we've been there. It's been like 8 years. By the way, I came across those videos we did like 8 years ago.
Oh, the Lego ones?
Yes.
I still have them up on my YouTube channel in case anyone wants to watch it. My YouTube channel, which you can find same as my handle on pretty much everywhere. It's Kevin O'Leary, ITSKEVINOLEAR.
Those were so much fun. And I mean, I can't believe that was 8 years ago. When I watched them the other day, and I saw the warning that you had to put on those videos because people were going to get epilepsy if they kept staring.
Yes, because I didn't know jack shit about lighting back then. So like, I was just like, oh god, I just like I can't fix this. I gotta just. It's just whatever. It's gonna flash. The lights are gonna flash, even though it makes no sense for them to flash.
Hey, those videos got a lot of views on Facebook. Believe it or not, I don't know how, but. Hey, we had fun with them.
Relatively, I'm sure.
We had fun, though. I mean, doing all the voices and everything.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I would make more of those Lego stop motion videos if I had like a proper like space to do them, but I kind of don't right now. I really don't have like a proper area for me to do it because like I used to make those in my basement, but I don't have a basement anymore. So like it's
good times. That's the way I'd put it. Good times. Anyway, a lot to get into. Just so people know, Kevin hosts a show with Connor Fitzgerald. Yes, we usually don't say his last name very often. For Fruity Cereal on the same network, which can be heard on Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Great show. You want to give people a quick little taste of what that show is, just so in case they want to check it out?
Gay.
Well, okay, but yes, absolutely. But it's a fun, very high energy, two best friends doing a show.
It's a silly show. It's a silly, funny, wacky show where we are wacky. Usually I will say something sexual and Connor will say something offensive. He'll clutch his pearls at the sexual thing I say. And I will be like, oh, you gonna get canceled when he says his thing. But usually he says it by accident, though. It's usually an accident, usually. Like the time where he called Diana the musical a car crash musical, and it's like, well, that's not what that meant. It's like he meant like as a bad musical. But I mean, I don't have to explain why that's bad.
No, but my favorite was the one you just made with Correlation, which that clip just went up on the Fruity Cereal.
That pretty much sums up the whole show, where I pretty much like talk about what happened with Brittany Griner, and then my next story was about the Teletubbies being at DragCon.
I mean, you had me laughing hysterically
That's
watching
pretty
that.
much the show. Or like that one episode where like I was talking about where we were talking about the shooting in Colorado. And I went into detail about like how like, see, this is what happens, when you spread all these hateful messages, we're not just saying like, we're not just, trying to stop the hateful words, because we're offended. It's because it leads to violence. I get into that. And then later on in the episode, I'm like, so who fucked Dopey in the Descendants movies?
I tell you, everybody, because I help produce that show behind the scenes when I'm not doing mine. The Fruity Cereal is a riot. I tell you. Definitely go check it out at Fruity Cereal on the social media platforms.
Yeah, in case anyone doesn't know, the Descendants movies are a Disney Channel original series. I probably gives a little bit of context of that. It's a Disney Channel original series about the children of Disney characters, and they're all the same age. And I have this fan theory that the reason they're all the same age is because all the Disney characters had a huge orgy at one point many years ago. Yeah, and then Connor told me I'm banned from Disney World, so I'm like, so you know what? It's worth it. It's worth spreading the truth.
It could be worse. You could be talking about butterbeer.
Oh my god! The butterbeer. Connor tried to get me canceled by saying like, see, he gave money to J.K. Rowling. Meanwhile, Connor bought fucking 2 butterbeers.
I still laugh at that when we saw those pictures. But anyway, go check out Fruity Cereal every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. It is hilarious. We've had some great guests on there too, and I heard we might have an interesting one starting in the new year.
That long?
I think it was in the new year. I think that's what Connor said.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
Oh, wait. Oh, that one. Okay, I thought you were talking about. Never mind. We'll talk
the
about
one,
it.
I think it was January 8th is the one I'm thinking of. But
that's what you're thinking of, but I don't think we were thinking of the same thing. I thought I was thinking about those other 2 guests.
Oh, that's that
duo of guests.
Actually, that one we can say because that one is confirmed. So we have another show on the network called 5 More Minutes, Mom, which just started. That's with Brielle and Gerland, who are actually friends of both of yours. And we got that show on here from you guys, so thank you. And now they are going to come and be a guest on your show this coming week. So, yes, that's the next
that is this week?
Yeah, that one is this week. Yes.
Okay.
Well, or Monday, because this comes out on Saturday. But yes,
right.
Monday.
Yes.
So, yeah, we'll get all the promotions out of the way. Now we can get into some fun stories. I try to stay away from, I think we've had this discussion many times before doing Fruity Cereal. I try to stay away from all the Kim Kardashian nonsense and all the...
Well, you do have a story about Drake, and so it's like kind of related.
It's kind of related, but I try to stay away from
I don't know. Actually, wait, has Drake ever like done anything with the Kardashians?
That's a good question. I mean, I think I've seen him on the Kardashians TV show before, though.
Okay, well,
we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
let's get to the unfortunate news first. This was a massive story when this came out. Steven, Twitch boss for the Ellen DeGeneres Show, dead at 40.
Yeah, this was really sad. Like, because he unfortunately took his own life, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what
it was ruled as.
Yeah, so he went to I don't know, how do you say, you bought a hotel room, or you booked? I guess you booked a hotel room. God, bought a hotel room. Booked a hotel room and basically walked in with a small bag, but no one knew what was in the small bag. Like everyone, all the workers, like, hey, and apparently he shot himself early in the morning.
That is so sad. That is awful. Just like, anybody out there who, feels like that, like, oh my God, I don't know how to say it. Just you're not alone. You're not alone. And, there are other ways. I just, God, I want to help, but like, I don't even know if I'm even saying the right words. It's just, oh boy, I'm not qualified for this. I'm sorry.
You know what's scary about this? What's scary about this is we all think that guys like Twitch, like they have a great career. He started off on So You Think You Can Dance, and then he gets I think he was originally helping Ellen for 1 or 2 days to learn a dance, and then all of a sudden he became the sidekick of Ellen, and then they were never separated, and well, until the whole controversy with Ellen came out, and he left, and he basically
I heard that I thought in the article said that he stood by her. Like he stood by her side. It was like, supporting her.
Well, he did, but I know he eventually got that show on the E Network, which was a bands or a dance competition show. But it just goes to show you that just because people look happy on the outside, it doesn't mean that they're happy on the inside.
Yeah, it's you never know what someone's going through. It's it's.
I know. I mean, and he apparently was doing a lot. Like a couple days ago, he was on TikTok with his kids, like shooting Christmas videos, putting up the tree, dancing with his wife, like, and then I don't know. His wife said that he had no idea. Like she almost filed like a missing persons report, and I don't know. It's just Ellen finally put a response out to it. It took a little while, but she wrote, "I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family. I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison," that's his wife, and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya. So I didn't even realize he had 3 kids. I knew he had at least one, but that's a challenging thing to go through right before the holidays.
I know. It's just it's again, like I said, you never know what someone's going through. It is very hard, and really my heart goes out to his family. Like this,
mental health also is a big thing. We saw it during the beginning of COVID, where people were stuck inside their houses and couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Except for me, I was somehow going back and forth to the city working.
Right, but you were the only one though, so you were okay.
Yeah, apparently I was the only one riding the train back and forth every day for a year.
Yeah, so you weren't in danger of catching COVID because you were the only one there.
Well, that eventually I caught COVID at that office, but that's a whole different issue.
That's a different story, right? I mean, I caught COVID too, and I was as careful as hell. I did, although I think I might be able to pinpoint where I got it from, but that's another story as well.
I have a feeling I got it from a famous person inside the building I was working in. That's a whole nother story I can't say on here. I can tell you afterwards.
Well, I can't say that. I mean, I might have gotten it from someone who's like locally famous in certain places here in the South, but
and let's put it this way: I was riding subways during COVID. Those were not exactly.
But you were riding empty subways, though.
Well, the subways were still kind of going, but the trains were okay. My favorite was having to pull out the police letter that the station gave me that I was working at the time. It said, "Here's a police letter. This allows you to get by all the police when they say to you, 'What are you doing here?'"
Yeah, you can't be. Okay, all right, yeah.
But all right,
so, you had permission.
I had permission essentially, but it was fun being inside of Penn Station. For most people, don't know Penn Station here in New York City. I literally, it felt like an empty box. I could hear my own voice echo inside of Penn Station.
Wow,
so
that must have been spooky.
It was spooky. I have the videos up on my Facebook page. It was really scary.
Yeah,
but
creepy.
But it felt like I was, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like you're sitting around the fire and you start hearing these random voices and you have no idea if you're being attacked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how a lot of horror movies go. I mean, it's like you're afraid. It's like, it's like when people say that they're afraid of the dark because they're afraid of being alone, but it's afraid of not being alone. That's the problem.
Exactly. All right, we'll move on from this.
Yes.
So I don't know if you've been following this next topic a lot, but have you been following the FTX thing at all?
Not really, but like I know that this dude, he got arrested for I don't know, what exactly did he get arrested for? Fraud. Well, I mean, I believe that crypto just in general is a fraud. Like it's fake money. It's not real. Like
you can't hold it.
It's basically Cole's Cash but worse.
Wow, that's
at least you can cash in Cole's Cash.
Oh, well, as long as it doesn't expire, but yes.
Well, yes.
But I mean, I'm in it, and now I'm getting out of it because now I'm learning that it's stupid. So
Yeah, and it's also really like bad for the environment too. Like the machines that are like that
all the
mine it,
coding, all the coding machines.
yeah, all
Yeah,
the coding machines, like they take up a lot of energy. So like it's really bad for the environment too. So not only are you being ripped off, you're also ruining the planet.
right. And by the way, so this guy Sam Bankman-Fried, that's the guy who you're talking about that finally got arrested from being in the Bahamas and hiding. Um, apparently he was having orgies and living in mansions and in the Bahamas and doing a lot of fun things. But
And now he's getting his comeuppance.
yeah, and so now the FTX CEO. Apparently, they had a new CEO take over. You would think they would just shut the damn company and
Yeah, like guys, this is bad. Like
this is
you gotta
fraud.
go down.
So FTX bankruptcy era
While you're
CEO.
ahead.
Right, John J. Ray III, appointed to shepherd the collapsed crypto exchange through Chapter 11 reorganization. I can't believe they're reorganizing this. Testified on Tuesday that the company's founder and former CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, made multiple misstatements about his company's financials. Gee, you think?
Yeah.
Apparently, the company was worth $40 billion and it went to zero. Oops.
Yeah, well, life's full of ups and downs, ups and downs. Yeah.
So it says,
some, you lose some.
and also Bankman-Fried misappropriated customer funds by allowing the funds to be used by his crypto hedge fund Alameda Research. Now, apparently Alameda Research was either like his ex-wife's company or wife's company so that like he could hide some of the money, supposedly.
Okay.
And I was like, what is this? Is this like a bad, like, I forgot the name of that financial movie. It'll come to me eventually, but I was watching
Catch Me If You Can.
That was one of them, but there was one where this guy hosts a show like Kramer does on CNBC. I can't remember the name of the actor. It was a big time movie, but like the guy held him up all over by gunpoint while he was hosting the show because he lost all his money to a
Joker?
No.
No, I know it's not.
But yes, but this quote is true. The company that the CEO that took over said they
wait. I think I actually do know what movie you're talking about, but I don't remember what it was called. Oh my god! Wait, yeah, where he held the guy at hostage
while he was hosting the TV show.
Yes, wait, Wait, this was a recent movie. I remember seeing the trailer for. Wait, yes, I know what you're talking about. But I don't know what it was called. George Clooney, right?
Yes, the George Clooney movie, right.
Yes. I don't know what it's called, though.
I feel like I need to look this up, but...
if only you were just producing this instead of
well, it's okay. I can...
You could tell us, like you do, on Fruity Cereal, whenever we forget things.
Money Monster?
That sounds like it would... That's what it is, Money
Monster. Yeah, it is. A TV presenter who is taken hostage live on camera. Yeah, that's it. So this is kind of like the same thing in a sense, where now the current FTX CEO is saying that they engaged in old-fashioned embezzlement. Should you really be admitting that?
I mean, maybe he's taking a plea deal. I don't know.
But there's a funny second part to this as well. So FTX owned $256 million of Bahamas real estate, including 15 condos in the same building, and the government wants it back.
The Bahamas government, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know. Can they get it back?
I mean, technically, if it's owned by someone who's a criminal, wouldn't all the stuff like go back to the government? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's above my pay grade. It says the building, the Albany Resort, where Sam Bankman-Fried lived. He lived in a $30 million penthouse until he was arrested Monday, earlier this week. Dang. This guy was living large, but he was living large on people's funds that they were spending on cryptocurrency. Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He hustled too hard.
He hustled and he fell
too hard. Flew too close to the sun, and then his wings burned off.
Exactly. All right.
Story of Kit of Icarus.
Right.
the Marvel character or the kid. I don't know.
All right, let's move on to something that would actually be a fruity cereal story if this was up. Ariana Grande to guest judge Drag Race. Well, I'm assuming that's RuPaul's Drag Race season 15 premiere.
Yes, RuPaul's Drag Race season 15, which is premiering, I believe, in next month in January, which, that's when it usually premieres. So that makes sense. Even though there's like 100 different other spin-off shows, 100 different other spin-off Drag Race shows per year. So I can understand why you might be confused about which Drag Race, because like that's a legitimate question. Because like, there's RuPaul's Drag Race, there's UK Drag Race, there's Drag Race Thailand, although I don't think that's officially part of the franchise. There's Canada's Drag Race. There's Canada versus the World Drag Race. There's UK versus the World.
Oh my God.
There's All Stars. Then there's the All Winners season. It's like, and RuPaul's apparently hosting some other game show. I don't remember what it was. I saw a commercial for it the other day. It's like RuPaul's just busy. And he owns that frack ranch too. That fracking ranch.
Are you surprised though that she's?
We're not supposed to talk about that.
Are you surprised that she's a guest judge, or is this not a shock?
No, I'm not surprised because this actually is not the first time that Ariana Grande has been a guest judge on Drag Race. She was actually a Drag Race back in season 7. But this was like around the time I think like she released like her first album, so like she wasn't as big as she is today. So like it wasn't like that big of a deal that she was guest judging. Like it was like kind of like a big deal. It was like, oh, Ariana Grande, yay! But like, and they're kind of doing this every season now, where like pretty much ever since season 9, when they had Lady Gaga as the premiere guest judge, like every premiere they have like they have a big celebrity do as the first guest judge. Like they had Ariana Grande. They have Ariana Grande this one. I meant to say they had Lady Gaga. They had Christina Aguilera, Miley Cyrus.
Wow.
Nicki Minaj.
So the guest list's not short, is what you're saying?
Oh no, it's not. It's not. They get a lot of like they've been getting like some big stars lately. Like when Drag Race first started out, pretty much. I mean, this goes without saying, but like when they first started out, they were only getting like people who were like prominent, in either the drag community or the LGBT community, like people that you that you as a heterosexual man probably have never heard of.
You know what's interesting though? I didn't know the show was on MTV.
Well, here's a funny thing. Now it is. It used to not be. Originally was on Logo TV, but then during season 9, they pivoted to VH1, and I guess that was to get it more mainstream audiences. And they would also have some of their spinoff shows be exclusively on Paramount Plus. And now they're making the show permanently on MTV. And I think that this is an effort to save MTV, because I think that MTV is like not doing so well right now. Like
it's not.
Ratings.
Nope. And
yeah, so I guess we're putting it on there to like save the ratings.
You know which show did that also? Wild and Out did that for a while. Like
but like that one's also not doing so well.
It doesn't help that Nick Cannon is having kids every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, Nick Cannon's freaking brood, his progeny.
Yeah, I mean, but they did the same thing. Like for a while, that show was up on MTV. It had a big run. Then it kind of when Nick Cannon actually did get himself canceled for a period of time because of the things he said about Jews.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that. I hope that. Oh my god.
And actually,
I feel bad for forgetting that he did that.
And the funny part is, the reason I know that was because the nationally syndicated show I produced at the time when I was still working, that was Nick Cannon's first interview back.
Oh.
So I met Nick Cannon when I was at my job last, and we did a full 2-hour interview of the syndicated show I was producing, and that was a whole interesting scenario, to say the least.
Yikes! Wow.
But that's why I think you're right.
Cool, but also yikes. But also,
yeah, it was interesting. No, he was nice. He was wearing his turban though.
You know what? I'm sure he is a nice guy. Like, anti-Semitism aside.
Also, not wearing condoms either.
Yeah. It's like,
I mean,
it's not just the fact that he has so many kids. He has so many kids with so many different women too.
it's and some of these women are not terrified at all. They're just like, all right, no problem. I don't care if I have a kid, if I get pregnant.
I mean, like, they know that he's gonna have to pay child support, so like, it's
Hey, including Mariah Carey having twins.
well, Mariah Carey can take care of herself, but
I'm just saying that was, if you want to go famous, at the top of the list.
well, yeah, right.
But I don't know. But I think
that Mariah Carey's a mother.
Yeah, it is. You're right. But that's why I think RuPaul's Drag Race is ending up on MTV. I think you're right. I think they're trying to save MTV.
Mariah Carey probably will be a guest. Probably will be the premier guest judge next season.
Has she been on there before?
No, I don't think she has, actually. I don't think Mariah Carey's ever been on the show. Although, maybe not, because let's see, it was season 11. They did this challenge where they had to parody like evangelical talk shows.
Oh no.
But the gimmick is that they're talking about pop divas.
Oh no.
Like they're like talking about praising the word of like ex pop diva. And so there were two groups. One of them did their skit about Britney Spears.
Wow.
And they crushed it. Like they nailed all their jokes. They did their research. They knew a lot about Britney. But then the other group, they did their thing on Mariah Carey. And the reason why they did it on Mariah Carey was because none of them really she was like the one like pop diva that like they all knew about, but like they all didn't know much about her. So like it was a mess. Like they all like none of them got their jokes right. They were all really awkward. They didn't reference any of her songs, right? Like it was just so yeah, like there was one group that was like, yeah, and it ended up with like a 6-way lip sync between like all of the members of the group. Because usually the show ends with a lip sync between the bottom two contestants.
That's interesting.
And whoever loses the lip sync, gets eliminated. But like they did a 6-way one, and there was still only one queen got eliminated. But like it was still wild. Like RuPaul was pissed at them for screwing this up. And I think that she got even angrier at there because RuPaul loves to do this thing where she'll ask the queens who should go home tonight. And she wants them to point the finger at someone else. Like because whenever they say like, oh, you know what? I actually want some humility and I will say that I screwed up. I should go home. And she'll be like, okay, well then you will.
That kind of reminds me of, well, I don't think the show's on anymore, but what is it? America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, it is kind of RuPaul and Tyra are pretty similar.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I would take RuPaul over Tyra on anything right now, to be honest.
It's a tough call, but okay.
Well, did you see all the screw ups Tyra had lately?
I don't know about lately. I don't know what she's been doing lately.
Well, she's been the host and the executive producer of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, well, yeah, which isn't that like a Disney Plus exclusive now?
I heard now they want to go back to ABC again.
Oh, but they want to go back to, yeah. Well, then again, Netflix has a ton of reality shows, and so does HBO Max. So I guess Disney Plus can too. I was about to say it was weird for Disney Plus to have reality shows be exclusive.
It was. You're right.
But like then I realized, oh wait, Netflix and HBO Max do that too. So like,
but it was weird for that show because it's such an interactive show that you need votes, and now it's being done exclusively on a platform.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I didn't really consider that. Yeah, ooh.
That's why, like, when they put any reality show on TV, except for I'm thinking more game shows. When Howie Mandel did a game show like during the earlier part of the pandemic called Bullshit. I'm not kidding. That's really what it was called, and they got away with it on Netflix, obviously. And it was literally a game about seeing who could lie the best.
Oh, okay. Wait, actually, no. I was about to think that, like, oh, I know this, but then I was like, wait, no, I don't.
It was actually really funny. I mean, they only did it for one season. I was surprised. I thought maybe they'd come back with, maybe it was just one of those pandemic type things that they can do in one place, and they said, all right, let's film a season and see where it goes. But yeah, all right, so let's move away and let's talk about, this is more my nerdy self coming out here. Spotify. Now, do you know a lot about Spotify or no?
Not really. I don't even use Spotify I don't even have Spotify Premium. I never have bought Spotify Premium. I had a free trial for Spotify Premium. That was kind of just given to me like a few months ago. And I kind of thought that this was just how Spotify works now. Like, but it turns out it was just a free trial that they just gifted me that I didn't even know about. And then we're like, oh, okay, time's up. Would you like to buy Spotify Premium? And I was like, no. So then I went back to regular Spotify Premium with regular Spotify, sorry, non-premium Spotify, with all the ads and the randomized songs and
God,
limited skips and getting songs that have nothing to do with the album or playlist that you selected. Although they have been getting better at that. It has been better. I've noticed lately, like, it's not diverting too much from the playlists or albums that I've been selecting. So, Spotify's getting better. I'm not as annoyed with it as I used to be. I used to be so annoyed at Spotify for doing
me
that.
too. But
it's like like I'll play like a Carly Rae Jepsen album and then they'll play me an Ed Sheeran song and I'm like, that's not what I wanted. And so I skip it, and then it's like a Drake song, and I'm like, I didn't want that either. And then they play a Maroon 5 song, and I'm like, what makes you think I want to listen to this? I didn't. I asked for Carly Rae Jepsen. This has nothing to do with this.
I used to love that. Like, Spotify would use this algorithm that would try to determine what you listen to. And I'm like, wait a minute, you can't tell me what I'm listening to. I'll tell Spotify what I want to listen to.
Yes, exactly.
That was always great.
But they're better. But they're better at that now. They'll give me a song that's not on the album, but it's still by the same artist. So it's like, okay, so it's still somewhat related.
So I don't know how much you've been following Spotify in this regard. Spotify is like the #1 podcasting platform now.
So I've heard. I still don't use it for podcasting. I just for podcasts, I just listen to Apple.
And by the way,
Apple for my podcasts that I listen to.
And I know you've been asking about this multiple times. I could say it now since we're at the end of the year. We are working that whole process out with all the podcasts to be on audio, hopefully starting next year. Yes, Kevin was asking, and yes, that's the goal with all the podcasts on the ETV network to all be on audio, except for the cooking show, because that would be kind of awkward listening to a cooking show on audio only.
Yeah, I guess that is a little weird, yeah.
But every other show, the plan is to be on audio beginning of next year. But yeah, they've been very big, Spotify. Like, they kind of took over Apple Podcasts as like #1 in statistics, and they've been. Have you heard of a product called Spotify Green Room?
No, I don't think. No.
So that's kind of like their live podcasting studio. Like they came up with this technology where they can like go into a studio and instantly it like goes out live as soon as they go live from the platform. You don't have to wait. And then once it's done, it instantly becomes a podcast on their Spotify platform without even editing or doing anything.
Okay.
But apparently, now I'll tell you one platform you've probably heard of. Have you heard of Gimlet?
Gimlet? Actually, no, I haven't heard of that one. What is that? So
Gimlet owned Anchor.
Okay.
So
yeah, okay.
I'm sure you've heard of Anchor before.
Yeah.
That's the purple looking platform thing that has the microphone and all that stuff in it. So apparently they've had to cut 11 at least 6 live audio shows and another 5 are coming. They're huge on like doing live audio podcasts now. So
they're doing this. So they're pretty much doing the same thing that Warner Brothers is doing right now.
And that number grew, by the way. I thought I read that they're writing off at Warner Brothers Discovery like $3.7 billion. I heard was the number that they're writing off now.
Oh boy, that's we could go into that. We can go into all about Warner Brothers, but like I don't want to digress.
Oh, we could do that another time. But
yeah.
So Spotify has canceled at least 6 of its live audio shows as part of the audio giant's latest round of programming cuts. Now, programming cuts are not just happening at Spotify; they're happening at radio companies, other podcast companies. We're hearing people get cut left and right. iHeart was a big one. Odyssey's getting cut. these radio companies can't stay alive anymore. That's why they're all going to podcasting. Some of these shows I've never even heard of, and I can't even pronounce them. So try to stay with me when I try to pronounce these. So Ducks Me After Dark. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Deux. I don't know how to pronounce that word. A celebrity gossip show. Let's see what else. Doughboys, a snack pack.
I have heard of Doughboys.
Oh, have you?
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
It's a food show hosted by comedians Nick Wigger and Mike Mitchell.
Did something fall behind me? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, I don't.
Also, The Movie Buff, a movie review show. A Gay in the Life, a current events and LGBTQ plus culture show.
I read about that one with Garrett Clayton from the Teen Beach movies.
So that got cut.
At one point, Teen Beach movie had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, I do remember that actually.
Yeah, and I think it's because there was literally only one critic that gave a review of it, and he was like, it's okay. So he gave it a positive one. So, but he was so it was 100%.
I got one review. I'm 100%. Yes. Then there was also I did not know this. There's a podcast called Taylor Talk, a Taylor Swift fan show.
Oh boy, I bet you love that.
Great.
We all know how much you love Taylor Swift, Nick. There's
certain songs that are okay, but then I don't understand the whole Swiftie obsession.
Because people are depressed and they want to live in the woods, but they don't want to be dirty in the woods. They want to still be pretty and blonde, but they want to live in the woods and be like, I hate men, but I'll keep falling in love with them, and I'll keep going through this vicious cycle. I know I'm the problem, but you know what? That's life.
I mean, I heard this other thing going around called Sad Boy Summer. I don't really know what that whole thing is about, but I don't know. I don't know a lot about relationships, to be honest. Also, like I said, they rebranded to Spotify Green Room and to Spotify Live, and they brought in a lot of sports-focused programming, like MMA shows and fantasy shows and NFL shows. And then they brought in, do you know who Alex Cooper is?
No.
She worked at Barstool originally, then Spotify overpaid her by a long shot. She did a show called Call Her Daddy.
That sounds familiar. It rings a bell, but I'm not really sure if I...
It was basically a whole show about not being afraid to talk about sex.
Okay.
And she would talk about all her public escapades, and it was big time show. Barstool really made it go off. And then Spotify said, you know what? We're going to pay her $60 million to bring this podcast here, which they probably overpaid. And now that's why you have companies like Spotify cutting a ton of shows.
Ooh, yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting the way the media world is. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see where the business goes. I don't know. Were you trying to, when we were both at LIU, I know I was focused on broadcast specifically. Were you looking at broadcast? I don't remember what you were specifically looking at.
Here's the thing. See, looking back, I should have been a film major because that's what I was trying to do. But
you were good at it too.
But I wanted to make TV shows instead of movies, so that's why it wasn't a film major. But stupid me, I didn't realize that the process is so similar that you might as well just be a film major. I didn't realize that broadcasting was going to have such an emphasis on journalism and radio.
My God, they did.
So I was like,
I almost hated the journalism side in the broadcast major. It was crazy.
So it was oh, oops.
There's another great project that you did in one of the classes we did. I still remember it to this day. Do you remember the Five Nights at Freddy's project you did?
Was it the audio one or the...
No, this was visual too.
Oh, okay. So it was. Are you talking about that music video that I did with Animals by Maroon 5?
It might have been. That was one of them, and then we took another class. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was audio, but you it was so perfect the way you nailed the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff.
I do remember in one of the audio classes, I did do a project about pretty much explaining why Five Nights at Freddy's is scary.
Yeah, that was it.
And this was for 2014. So this was around the time when Five Nights at Freddy's was first a thing. I just want everyone to know that it was like 2014. It was around the time Five Nights at Freddy's was first a thing. And it blew up in popularity.
Yeah, big time.
And they were just like, and Scott Cawthon was just pumping out those games like buttermilk. I don't know.
Yeah, but I just remember it was so realistic. I was like afraid when you put the video up on the screen. Like you nailed all those characters. I can't even watch one of those videos. I'm so afraid of that game.
I don't remember doing a visual for that.
You did a visual project of some sort for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I did a music video. I remember doing that, but I don't remember doing any other kind of visual projects for that. I mean, unless you count that mask I made, but that was for Halloween. That wasn't for school. Which I still have that mask, by the way. I still have that Freddy mask that I made.
But I just remember that game being so realistic, like because when you had no idea, like they'd go jump out, whoa, and I'm like, oh my god, like,
yes, the jump scares, the infamous the Five Nights at Freddy's jump scares.
I was like, oh my god, but I digress. Actually, the next story, more, I don't know. Would you consider yourself like an influencer? You do, right?
I was for like 5 seconds on TikTok.
Well, this story has to do with influencers. I don't know if you saw this story, but there was a huge fraud scheme, manipulation scheme with some social media influencers with an alleged $100 million stock manipulation scheme. Now, you know this world a little bit better than I do.
Maybe. Could you name some of the specific influencers?
Yeah, let me see if I have.
I might recognize some of them.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Although, if they're one of them new ones, maybe not so much. Like, I don't know who. I don't know. Well, I can't name them.
All right, so here they are. So Perry Matlock, Edward Constantine.
No.
Thomas Cooperman.
That sounds a little familiar. I keep saying that. I keep saying, "Oh, that rings a bell," but I don't know.
Gary Deal. Mitchell Hennessy, Stefan Harviton, and John Ritzbarek.
Okay, well, clearly these people aren't that big influencers because I haven't heard of them.
Well, apparently they were big enough to make $100 million stock manipulation scheme.
I guess so. I mean, I guess they're popular with Gen Z. They're probably really popular with Gen Z, so that's probably why they were able to do this. Which, like, there's like a lot of influencers that I just really don't understand the appeal of. I know I'm not saying anything new here, but like, there's just really some people that like make content that I'm just like, this is bad. Why do people like this?
The big thing that was going on was when cryptocurrency came to its fruition the first time. Like, all these influencers are getting sponsored by cryptocurrency places, and it caused
including
problems.
Larry David.
Well, back to the FTX that we were talking about earlier. All those people that were FTX, what do they call them? They took money to do commercials. I can't think of the word at the moment.
Sponsors?
Essentially, like they were brand endorsers. That's
brand endorsements. Okay, brand endorsers. Yeah.
Yeah, and they took a lot of money to do those commercials, and they're all being named in the impending lawsuit. I'm sure this is the same thing. So it says here,
fuck around and find out.
Exactly. The SEC has charged 8 social media influencers with securities fraud in an alleged $100 million scheme to manipulate stock prices using their Twitter and Discord accounts. How? That's all I got to say.
I don't know. I still don't know how Discord works. Honestly, like, people have explained how Discord works like a million times for me, but I still can't figure it out. I
heard it's like a help platform, kind of in a sense, like you can reach out to people. Like they say, reach out on my Discord. Ooh, excuse me.
I hear that, but again, I have a Discord account. I've used it, but I have no idea how it works. I'm like, why is there a whole forum for like every hashtag? Why are there so many hashtags under each username? Like, what's going on here? Like, okay, there's NFTs here. There's AI art. What? There's servers.
NFTs are a joke, in my opinion. Why are you spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a picture of something?
I don't know. Did you hear about Trump is making NFTs?
Oh God, another business he can fraud.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know if it's actually an NFT, but it's like a collectible digital card. It's a picture of him like as a superhero, like in a wrestling ring. It's so ridiculous. It's so silly. I wish I had I saved a picture of it and I could show it, but
It's so
I know
funny
we were gonna
though.
talk about this.
It's so funny what people are spending on NFTs. You're a sucker if you spend money on NFTs.
Yeah,
You're not getting that
really,
money back.
really, yes.
But it says here the
And like, you know what I don't understand? People argue that like NFTs are valuable because it's like they're like one of a kind. It's like, okay, so is a turd that I would like that I could like carve my name into, that I could like write my signature on, but like it's still a piece of shit. It's not worth anything.
no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Well, all right, pun intended. You're right. Yeah, I don't get that. That's like when people drive a new car off the lot and they tell you, "All right, you lost about half the value as soon as you drive a new car off the lot." And I'm like, "Okay, but you need a car to drive and be places. You have no choice."
Yeah, it's
I
like,
love when people buy $500,000 cars and they're like, "All right, I want to sell this in a year." I'm like, "You're not going to get $500,000 for it. Be lucky if you get half of it." Ugh. But it says the complaint accuses the influencers of recommending stocks. All right, I've heard this scheme before. They had purchased and said they intended to hold their legion of followers. Instead, they sold their shares when prices and trading volumes surged without disclosing plans to dump the securities. So basically, they were telling people to buy stuff with their influence, and then as soon as the price went up, they sold it. That's fraud. You can't do that because you're basically manipulating a price because of all your followers. It's amazing what influencers do. It's really funny what influencers do.
yeah, and it's like, I don't, I don't know. I could say something, but I feel like I don't. I feel like I feel like I'm just gonna sound like a boomer if I say like, influencer bad, blah, blah. But like, you know, I mean, there are some people who like I guess you could categorize as influencers that like I genuinely enjoy their content, but that's
I've
because
seen
they
good
make good
influencers.
content. Like, you know, so but like there's some people that I'm just like, what is the appeal of this? Why are you listening to them? They don't know. But you know, I guess it's children, and you know, children are easily manipulated. So it's like, you know,
It's true. My favorite is there's a category of videos on YouTube I don't understand, like you said, because you just watch because it's like, how do they do this sometimes in the videos? There's this one guy, and I can't remember his name. Like, he does these food challenges, and like he sits with all this food, and like he does all these different types. Like, he'll do a holiday one, or he'll go to like a McDonald's.
now when you say food challenge, do you mean like he has to eat a certain food, or he has
Yes.
to make certain food?
No, he has to eat. Like, he goes to these big brand places like a McDonald's, and he like orders the whole menu.
I don't know. I feel like that might be like, I feel like so this is like a mukbang.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes, and it's like gross. Like,
Let me ask you something. Do you think that mukbangs are like a sexual thing?
I've heard it in that term before when you've said that. Like, like in movies, sometimes they'll call it that, but for the most part, I've heard it as a food thing.
Right, but like, I don't know. It almost kind of feels like, but like they get so popular, and I feel like, you know, it's like are people like, I don't know. It almost kind of feels like it's a fetish thing. Like it's like a
I've
fetish,
heard
like,
that.
to
Yeah,
watch someone eat. Like,
that seems kind of weird though when you say it that way. Like, oh.
I mean, I'm just trying to rationalize it because like, you know, I don't know. I'm not too interested in watching someone eat. I mean, if you are, like, whatever, that's whatever.
That's your thing, I guess.
You know, we're not here to kink shame.
No, we're not.
But like, you know, I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense out of it. And honestly, you know, sometimes, you know, whenever you want to make sense of something, sometimes it is just a sex thing.
That's a good point. I'll give you that one for sure. But yeah, this whole social media thing is nuts. Like
Yeah.
you're an influencer and you're controlling everybody to buy stocks. What's next?
Yeah, it's like you didn't. It's like you know how you become an influencer? Luck. It's all pure luck. It's
Or you
lucky
did something
the
stupid.
algorithm picks up your shit. Hell, even if you do something stupid, you could flop. It's luck.
No, I'm saying like you did something stupid and like you were caught with a celebrity or something, or
I mean, yes, that is a way, but like, these algorithms, like, all these social media websites, like it's sometimes you just get lucky and like
there's no science to it, is what you're saying.
it's really not.
My favorite is, well, you've had a few videos on TikTok do a million views before, right?
Yeah, I do have a few TikTok. I do have a few videos on TikTok that do have over 1 million views. And guess what? I have no idea how they got so popular because sometimes I will post a video that is so similar to that one, like very similar, but just different enough that like, I'm not copying myself and it'll like completely flop.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I was going to ask you about that because I've my other guys and we talk about this on TikTok. Like videos that I expected nothing got a lot, and then the ones that I expect to get a lot don't get anything.
Yeah, I know.
So there's no rhyme or reason to the TikTok algorithm, even though I keep hearing, well, if you do this and you do this,
these people are just trying to scam you. They're just trying to hustle. They're trying to, get people's attention. They're trying to, and maybe they'll charge you for it, and then they'll try to, hustle you there. But like,
I mean, there's certain things like generic things you can do, like just making sure the size of the video is right, or I guess because I don't know. I heard that.
I think that like shorter videos do better on TikTok. Like I think that's like a thing that's like
even though they came up with the 10-minute video, which I know you and Connor were laughing about, and I was laughing about it too, because people barely want to watch 10-second videos. What makes you think they're going to watch 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's.
But
yeah, I think there's something mind numbing about watching something for like more than like a few minutes, like portrait mode.
Yes,
I think that's probably why Quibi flopped.
Oh god, I forgot about Quibi.
Yeah, a lot of people did, but yeah, it was a thing, and yeah, it's anyway.
It is what it is.
It is.
All right, let's move on. You and I were laughing about this beforehand. Actually, you were talking about Taylor Swift before. Taylor Swift's "Shake It Off" copyright suit settles before trial. Now, I didn't even know they went to trial. I just learned about this.
I thought that they settled it out of court.
Well, they did. It said the headline was the copyright suit settles before trial.
Okay, so then there is not going to be there is no trial then.
But I didn't even know like it had a chance to go to trial. I didn't even know that was. I don't know. Music is weird. Music is like, especially on YouTube, because the YouTube gods have probably gotten both of us twice or a couple times for copyright with music in the background of videos.
Yeah. I mean, you know how Connor's always paranoid about copyright. He's like, "Oh no, we can't do that. That's copyright." Like he thinks that you can't even like sing a song like a cappella.
Oh no, that you can do because
I know that. Like I could say like, "Oh, shake it up, woo 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 woo."
Yeah,
and we're not gonna get sued by Taylor for that.
No,
least not yet.
Hey, she would like that. She's getting her music promoted. But we did have one episode that we had to change. Do you remember?
Yeah, wait. Oh, yeah, because it was
the highlight, the promo.
Yeah,
the promo.
Because I showed Sammy Joe one of my TikToks. I think is that.
No, well, I didn't know that one happened. I'm talking about. Do you remember the episode on YouTube? Remember we showed the promotion to one of the shows on Amazon Prime or whatever. And
oh yeah. I think it was we were like reacting to the trailer for like My Policeman or something.
Yeah, YouTube didn't like
the movie. Yeah,
YouTube didn't like that too much.
YouTube was like, we don't like that.
God forbid, even though
Which
YouTube
is so weird because like people post reaction videos to things all the time, especially movie trailers.
Yeah, I don't get that sometimes. Like you see the YouTube channels where they're doing reaction videos and they're showing the actual thing. Like they're side by side. And I'm like, how is this not being like copyright infringed? Unless
it's like if this is okay, why can't I do that?
Well, the weird thing is technically you wouldn't know if someone else's video is copyright infringed because the only way you see it is when you upload a video and it tells you.
True. But like but the fact that you could still see it, it's like, well, clearly it's not like that big of a deal.
You would think if something was copyright infringed and YouTube is telling you, hello, copyright infringement, like maybe they would say, or they would stop you from hitting the upload button.
Yeah, but
Unless you don't care.
what can you do?
The weird thing is, the episodes of Fruity Cereal, the song is now getting copyrighted.
Yeah, you told me about that a few days ago. We might have to replace the theme song.
Well, the weird thing is, you know that there's a version of copyright where they tell you it's not a copyright strike?
Yeah, that's just confusing. I don't know.
And I was like, wait a minute. Excuse me. If it's coming up as a copyright strike, and it literally, like when I opened the description, it said, all right, it's a copyright strike, but the person is not going after you. It's not a copyright strike. Your channel's not affected. And I'm like, huh?
Okay, so what's the problem then? What's gonna happen? Like,
Then why don't you just say it's not copyright claim then?
or just don't say anything at all.
So
if there's no problem here. Like, why are you alerting me of this?
Like, just leave me alone, damn it! Yeah. I don't.
Did I do something wrong? No. Okay, then leave me alone.
You've been on the record before that YouTube is a little odd with some of their rules, right?
Yeah. They like almost all social media has like their little quirks and stuff. Like,
well, TikTok. You and Connor have both joked about TikTok.
Like,
rules before.
TikTok, they have an unreliable, TikTok, they have like an unpredictable algorithm. YouTube has like weird copyright rules. Twitter, they just straight up let Nazis on there.
Instagram.
Instagram is just trying to be TikTok and they're flopping hard.
Well, no, Instagram just lets you post porn and no one cares.
They do now?
Well, or they were for the longest time.
Well, I know they were when freaking Tommy Lee posted that picture.
Oh god,
that we talked about on the Sammy Joe episode.
Did that ever get taken down, or was that still up there?
No, that definitely got taken down.
Well, when she found it on Instagram, it was still up there. But he's a weird dude, by the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. YouTube is weird. TikTok, like you told me that you can't even say something nasty about someone or else it gets taken down.
Yeah, you can't like
you can't shame.
Well, I think you can now because I think that like TikTok is like doing like they're like trying to separate their content from like what's like for kids and what's not. I think they're doing like a similar thing to what YouTube did.
But you can't bully, you told me, right? That was the term.
Here's the thing. I had a TikTok live where I called Vladimir Putin a pussy ass bitch, and I got banned from live I got suspended for saying that, and I was like, what?
I'm sure there's been a lot worse on TikTok.
Probably. Now, here's the thing. Someone might have personally flagged that. I don't know how it works.
That's the weird thing about TikTok. You can actually go, another user could flag you, right?
Yes. But like it also could just be the algorithm picking it up and being like, oh, wait, this is bad. Beep, boop, bop. I'm a robot. I'm algorithm robot. Bad bullying.
But I'm saying technically someone could flag the video and then they say, oh, we're taking it down. That's what they do, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can appeal it, but sometimes they're like beep boop bop.
They don't care. I don't know. TikTok, and I don't know. You've heard this whole theory about the China thing with TikTok, right?
What, like they're like stealing data and stuff?
Yeah, like and now like apparently they're trying to get it banned from the US, TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, it's like what data are they stealing? Like are they stealing like people's like addresses and stuff? Like I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm not saying it's true. I don't know. I'm not the biggest theory person, but I mean,
this could lead to another lawsuit. I actually got some money from the TikTok lawsuit.
Wait, really?
It's not a lot. It was like $27. So like,
but that's insane. Anyway, like you got money from TikTok lawsuit.
Well, this was like a lawsuit, like from a few years ago about like a data breach.
Wow.
So like, yeah. So like every like user was like compensated with this money, and I was like, okay,
hey, money.
And, yeah, I got my money. It wasn't a lot of money, but hey, it was like.
Let me guess. It was like one of those
$27. Yay!
Let me guess.
I'm gonna buy myself a used video game. I don't know.
Let me guess. It was like one of those lawsuits where they put a bunch of money into a pot, so to speak, and then like it ended up being like millions of people. So that's why you only got $27, but it was a lot of money up top.
Probably, yeah.
so stupid.
They didn't want to like personalize it, so it's like they didn't want to like go through like every single case. They're just like, let's just give everyone the same amount of money.
I don't know. But speaking of money, we'll conclude on this. This is a story you and I were laughing about beforehand. Drake's massive diamond necklace represents the 42 times he thought about proposing marriage. Now, I saw this and I was like, wait a minute. He was going to propose to 42 women?
And were any of those 42 women underage actresses?
Oh, I remember that story. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Stay away from Millie.
Yeah, really.
Drake, why are you such good friends with Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
I mean, she's a grown woman now, but she wasn't when you were hanging out with her so much. What were you doing? It's kind of a little creepy, Drake, that you're hanging out with this underage, this underage girl.
Not just creepy, like ridiculous. So it says Drake is dripping with symbolism. Ugh, God, I hate when people. Hey, see, we talk about why we don't like journalism. It's for that reason. We come up with cliche headlines.
Yeah.
So jewelry designer Alex Moss took to Instagram to talk about a piece he made for. Wait a minute, he's 36 years old. That's it.
How old do you think Drake is?
I thought he was a lot. Well, maybe he started when he was young, didn't he?
Well, actually, yeah, I kind of thought maybe because Nicki Minaj, I think she just recently turned 40.
Damn.
Which that's surprising that Nicki Minaj is 40.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, I kind of thought that Drake would be older than her, but I guess not.
Well, if I remember correctly, wasn't Drake on Degrassi?
Yes, he was.
And wasn't he 16, 17 years old or younger on that?
I don't know. I mean, I know he was playing a teenager, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was a teenager.
Oh, I don't know.
It was filmed, because you know how Hollywood works. They love to cast, actors in their 20s to play teenagers, which I'm okay with because, there are a lot of, because, there's child labor laws and, kids have to go to school. So they don't have time to act. But on the other hand, I don't think it's okay for them to use that as an excuse to have underage characters be sexualized.
That's a little weird.
It's MCW.
Yeah. But it says the new piece titled Previous Engagements. Oh God, they gave the piece of art a name. Let's see, for all the times he thought about it, but never did it. 42 engagement rings, 351.38 carats in diamonds. First of all, I've never heard of that many carats before. Have you?
I don't know, unless you're Bugs Bunny.
Well, true. So it says a jewelry designer tells E! News that the piece took over 14 months to make and features 42 stones and, like I said, a staggering 351.38 carats in diamonds. I'm afraid to know what the price of this thing is.
I have a question. Is Drake in therapy?
I have no idea, but
because I'm pretty sure that's cheaper than buying this ridiculous diamond necklace.
True. It says it was made using 18 karat white gold and was set using the eagle claw technique, whatever that means. No other details can be disclosed other than the fact that this is the most insane chain ever made. I mean, my God.
And this is all like a symbolic gesture for times he thought about proposing. It's like, what a corny dude.
I don't know. It says the rapper has never publicly been engaged. Well, makes sense. He's been romantically linked to Rihanna. Well, not anymore. In the past, and has a 5-year-old son. I had no idea. I didn't even know he had a son. Did you?
I didn't know.
But how much do you think this thing would go for? 42 engagement rings are expensive.
You mean the necklace?
Well, altogether, but I just meant one engagement ring is expensive, but 42 made into a necklace.
I don't know. Probably enough to cancel student loan debt.
I would say this has to be worth few million, at least.
It's probably good. It probably would be enough to solve the homelessness crisis in America.
You're probably right. And by the way, rappers don't go cheap on diamonds.
No, yeah, no, I'm sure they don't. Yeah.
I know that's stereotypical, but it's kind of true. You see them spending hundreds of thousands. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting story. 42 times. Sheesh.
Yeah.
I want to know how many of those were celebrities.
Yeah, and how many of those were girls who were
Underage.
not 18 yet?
That
Why are you grooming? Why are you grooming? I'm sorry. I feel like we shouldn't let that go. We shouldn't let that whole.
No, you're absolutely right.
Go.
You're absolutely. That was like.
I know that's kind of irrelevant to the story, but like.
That's like what's his name who just ended up in jail. R. Kelly.
Oh, didn't R. Kelly like?
He was a predator.
Oh yeah, no. He was straight up having like he was straight up
doing stuff. We'll say doing stuff.
Yeah, that's. I was like,
they were like 14, 15, 16 years old. Some of those, but that's what you're talking about.
And he was like peeing on them too.
Oh, I didn't know he was doing that.
Not that like I mean, not that that's the bad part. I mean, I guess it is the bad part. Okay, it's bad enough that he was having, that he was,
relations. Yes,
having statutory, that's the R word, grape with a silent G.
Yes,
with these girls, like rape with silent G-ing these girls.
Yes,
but like the fact that he was peeing on them too, in addition to that, I mean, that alone is also bad as well. I'm sorry, I don't want to downplay the fact that like, I don't want to downplay the predation of all of this.
No, there's no way.
Be funny, but I also don't want to downplay it. So
that's another
tricky thing to do.
That's another weird thing. You and I have discussed this many times, where you want to make fun of somebody, but it's like a serious situation, and you're like, "All right, maybe I can get away with like this level of making fun of it, but."
Yeah, it's like I want to make fun of them for this, but I also don't want to downplay the severity of what they did.
And you don't want to read the YouTube comments section afterwards. That's always fun. Like it's like making fun of Trump, and then all the Trump apologists end up in your social media section.
Yeah, it's one of my most viral TikToks, or I don't know if it's actually one of my most viral, but it's a really popular TikTok I have where I was like talking about Andrew Tate, and I was like talking about like all the bad things that he did.
Yes, I did see that.
And there were a lot of his simps were defending him and attacking me.
Andrew Tate, of course, now I'm going to bring it up, and then watch, this video is going to get attacked by Andrew Tate people, but I don't care. I can take it. Andrew Tate is I don't think weird even suffices it, right?
I mean, he is weird, but like more importantly, he's fucking scum.
He's sexist too.
Oh my god,
sexist, misogynist, whichever word you want to use.
I mean, I feel like calling him sexist, like that's like
that's not even saying what he's actually done.
Yeah, no, like that's like I don't know.
He did an interview with Dave Portnoy on Barstool on a podcast called the BFFs, and two of the co-hosts for that show were women, and he just was like hand to the face every time like they were saying stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is awful.
I know, he's a piece of shit. Like, even if he's not trafficking women, which he was under investigation for. I don't know if he still is under investigation for that. But like, even if he's completely innocent of that, he's still a piece of shit.
Like, he just doesn't know how to act. Like, I figured this out afterwards, but apparently like he's some kind of trained MMA fighter, and like
he's like a former like professional he was like
boxer, I think.
Yeah.
And that's where his following came from originally, even though he won't admit it. But just some of the things, and then he keeps going on Piers Morgan's show in the UK, and Piers is just like, I don't like him.
Oh boy, Piers Morgan. Yep, another
prize.
Yeah, it's like
I literally, and you know this dumb thing that we all do when we watch videos on social media, like we hate these people to death, but we sit there when we watch it.
oh yeah,
Like,
it's like the hate watching, doom scrolling. It's like yeah, I know. It's like I know you shouldn't do it. It's like don't do it. But like sometimes you can't help yourself, and you're like,
I was like fascinated by the interview, like when
it's like
Pierce.
and you just like you just get angry, and you're like, this is not good for my mental health to engage in this. But I'm doing it anyway because I can't help it.
And the weird part is like Pierce is asking him about marriage and like the sanctity of marriage. I'm sure you've seen videos on him talking about marriage before. And
actually, I don't know what his take on marriage is, but I doubt it's good.
like the weird part is like he was talking about, oh well, I would defend the woman. That's what he says. Like, but I don't believe in like some of the sanctities of marriage. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, he's like,
What does that even mean?
and like he would say, I'd put my body on the line because that's my job as a man to protect the woman. And I'm like, heck?
From what?
Like if they were going to get attacked, or like if a woman wants to walk out in the dark, like the man should walk the woman to wherever they have to go. And I'm like, what? Like what is happening here?
I mean, okay, what?
He has some like weird, fucked up theories on things.
No, he does. I know. I shouldn't be surprised by any of this.
And like he would just keep arguing with Piers, and it was funny though because Piers was just like trying to figure out. Like you never see Piers lost for words on anything.
Oh my god, that I'm sorry, but this does kind of remind me of Kanye's interview on InfoWars.
Yes,
like how he was actually making Alex Jones look like the sane one.
Well, I love
like,
when
how do you do that?
But my favorite was when Alex Jones read, I don't know if you should say that. I was like, wait, what? You, the one who basically said that the Sandy Hook parents were actors?
No, he didn't basically say that. He did say that.
Excuse me. He said that they were actors. You're the one telling Kanye to cool it?
Yeah, I know. He's on his show like, well, let's set the record straight. We don't like Nazis or Hitler or anything. And then Kanye's just like, I do.
Well, and what the fuck with that mask while sitting on the set?
I don't know, because I don't know, Kanye, he's just, how do we get to Kanye? Oh my gosh. Good Lord.
It actually reminds me the first time Piers was the one who interviewed Alex Jones on CNN, right?
Maybe I don't remember.
Because he said that because he kept saying to Piers, "You should be deported and go back to the UK." I remember because he kept yelling gun laws. It was the whole gun laws thing. That's when he was on when Piers had a show on CNN at the time. He's like, "You should be deported," and I'm like, "Oh God." I was like, "No, stop." And the only reason people watch Alex Jones is because they want to see him yell. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
You're not watching because he's entertaining. You just want to see what dumb thing's going to come out of his mouth.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he does have people who like genuinely like listen to what he says. But I think that percentage of people is just small enough that like it's not too big of a problem.
His company is bankrupt, though. It's like under.
Well, now, yeah.
No,
now.
even before. Well, his company was going under anyway because he kept getting banned from social media platforms, and I want to know where his show is airing because, like,
yeah, that's a good question. Where are people watching this? Are they watching it on Truth Social? Is Truth Social even a thing anymore?
Well, I heard that company's bankrupt too. Surprise! Not really. That's what you get when Trump runs a company; he bankrupts it into the ground.
Oh boy.
Anyway, I think that's enough on that topic. Anyway,
yeah.
Just some quick notes. Beyond the Bench going on a break this is the last episode of the year. Part one. Well, there might only be a part one at this point of Beyond the Bench. Best of Beyond the Bench. For the week of Christmas. I don't know what's going to happen with New Year's. We're supposed to do a part two, but who knows if that's going to happen at this point. But yes, that'll be out on Christmas week. And then the show's going to go on a little bit of a break in the new year, but it will come back at some point. But Kevin, thanks for being on and helping me out today.
Thank you for having me.
Promote the show again so people know where they can find Fruity Cereal.
Yes, fruity cereal. Okay, so the thing about fruity cereal that you might not know if you're just listening to this, it's actually fruity is spelled like the food, as you would spell it, but cereal is actually spelled like cereal like the number, Serial, not cereal like the food. It's fruity like the food, but cereal like the number, or the killer, if you want to be spooky about it.
Hey, before Halloween, it was okay.
For Halloween, but like for Christmas, we're not going to talk about killers on Halloween.
No.
I mean, we're going to talk about killers on Halloween, but not on Christmas. Christmas is not for killers. Christmas is for cheer. So we're going to talk about numbers. numbers
exactly.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm tangenting right now. But anyway, yeah, you can follow all of our social media at Fruity Cereal. Again, fruity like the food, cereal like the number, one word. Okay, again, you can follow me everywhere at It's Kevin O'Lear, ITSKEVINOLEAR, on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I said TikTok. Did I say TikTok?
I think you
Letterboxd.
Just say it again. It's fine.
Yeah, TikTok, Letterboxd if you want my opinions on movies. I think I was Twitch. Did I say Twitch? I don't know.
No, you didn't say Twitch. No.
Whatever. You know what? I think I named everything. I think so.
Basically, for the most part, at It's Kevin O'Lear.
Yes. Just well, actually, it pretty much is everywhere now because I finally
changed YouTube.
Yeah, I finally. Well, YouTube now has
the ad symbol. Yeah, they have handles now.
So, and I changed my handle. I made my handle. It's Kevin O'Lear. So technically,
it's so weird.
Channel is still called Kevo Productions, but
yes,
the handle is now It's Kevin O'Lear. So
YouTube is trying to become Twitter.
They're trying to become Twitter. They're trying to become TikTok. They're
well, and now YouTube has Shorts. So now YouTube thinks they're TikTok.
Yep.
And Instagram thinks they're TikTok. Like everyone thinks they're TikTok.
Yes.
I tried YouTube Shorts for the first time, putting them out on the channel. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Oh, I've just been re-uploading my TikToks on there, and sometimes they do really good.
That's what I've been doing. Like, before I put the music in for TikTok, I'll download the video first, put it on Shorts, and then I'll add music and put it on TikTok. That's what I did with the one you just saw for Fruity Cereal.
Oh,
God, funny moments. But like I said, for the next episode of Fruity Cereal, the host from 5 More Minutes, Mom, Brielle, and Girl, and that's a new show on the network. There will be a little crossover action. That should be an interesting episode. I like them. They've been good so far. If you like children's media or interesting theories on kids and TV media, it's a great show. Should go.
Are there any theories like my theory about Disney's descendants?
Not yet, but that would be an interest. You should bring that up and see what they think.
See what they think about it. Okay, I will. I mean, it's not really a nostalgic show. I mean, at least not for us because we're old. But yeah,
I mean, they recently just did a whole episode on how SpongeBob completely made kids way back when, reflected their theories of children's media.
I mean, yeah,
it was funny to me. I mean, we all grew up on it.
Honestly, the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob, they still hold up. It's not just a nostalgia thing. I've seen those episodes, and the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob, they hold up. It's just season 4 onward that's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is just for kids.
They should have given up at some point after the movie. After the movie, they should have given up.
That was the plan. That was Steven Hilberg's plan, and then he left the show, and then
he passed away, didn't he?
Well, he didn't pass. Well, he passed away long after that.
And what I'm saying is his dying wish, right?
Well, he didn't want the show to be like it wasn't. I don't know if I'd say it was his dying wish.
He didn't want it. He basically said when the movie was done or when it was in production, he said that's it.
And then he left the show, but Nickelodeon just kept making the episodes without him. And then he died, and then they made these spin-off shows, even though he didn't want spin-off shows for SpongeBob. He wanted SpongeBob to just be its own thing, but then.
You mean that stupid Patrick Star thing that they were
Star Show and Camp Coral?
Were those actually coming, or was that just a rumor?
Camp Coral?
No, but Patrick Star Show or whatever that was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's on. That's on the air.
On Paramount Plus or actually on?
I think it's actually on Nickelodeon.
God.
On the channel of Nickelodeon. I think that the Patrick Star Show is on there. God. I don't know. I don't watch it. So
I don't either. So I wouldn't know.
All I know about it is that Patrick has a squid sister.
Oh God, I'm not surprised. Anyway, if you want to find Fruity Cereal or you want to find this show, youtube.com/ETB Network. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video or any Fruity Cereal video, or hit that. Is it a red button anymore, or is it now a black or gray button? I've lost track.
I think it's red if you are not subscribed, but it's gray if you are.
Okay,
So
because they
red,
keep
click it.
because they keep changing the colors of
You're
everything
talking
on
about the
YouTube.
subscribe button, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Smash that MF subscribe. Smash that like. Smash
Everything.
Smash it like the Hulk, baby.
Exactly. So, like I said, Best of Beyond the Bench next week. I'm efforting to get a part 2 right before New Year's, but I don't know. We'll see if that actually happens. So, for Kevin O'Lear, thank you. I'm Nick Morgasen. We will see you after the New Year. So, have a happy holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I don't know. What do they say? Happy Festivus.
For the rest of us, yeah.
Exactly. So, we'll see you next year. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye. Happy holidays.